everybody.
Hey, we're alive.
Hi.
We are alive.
We are
Thank
all
God.
alive. I think mental health is back. Mark is feeling well. John is not shiny, which is awesome. I'm not being blinded over here.
Well, I'm actually using a real camera.
That's nice, right? I got to get one of those. I got a new one, but it's still whatever webcam. I need to get a nice one. So.
What? No, you got a new? That's a new camera.
Yeah, it's a 4K, so it's supposed to be really nice. So seems to be. I don't know.
Hey, dude, your color looks the best I've seen it in a long time.
Yeah,
you can
actually make out all the details in the background.
You got the shyness of a hair.
Oh yeah, I still got that. Yeah, I got my Superman curl going now. How's that? No, all right. Yep. There we go. That'll happen. It's so weird because I want to. No, I just want to cut it all off. I want to be like you. Oh
no.
Okay.
No.
I think your audio just cut out, John.
No, John, we lost you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Oh man, there you go. Now you're back.
I'm back. There we go.
Back. Yeah, I think needed to smack it.
No, what it is that there's triggers in some of the things that he's using, and I didn't take them out because I didn't take them out. When it switches like that, it turns it off, but it turns it back on. So yeah, that's happened.
Oh my gosh! So what has everybody been up to? It's been a hot minute.
I've been nuts. We have a new client, and the new client is like really keeping us busy. And on top of that, I had my feet burnt, which sucks. And then I had to go to Florida to work, come back up. I'm training Austin. We have 2 new shows potentially coming on. We'll know by the end of next week. And I had food poisoning Sunday. So I'm a day late getting back up here to get everything going. So I'm kind of playing catch up. And poor Austin he's like, I'm giving him information that should be in a funnel and it's in a straw because, I'm overloaded, I think. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Oh man.
How are you doing health wise?
I'm doing much better. It's been a rough few weeks. We're finishing up the Erie Smoky Mountains book for Erie Travels. And it just happens to be the podcast took off, like crazy right now. We're getting so many people wanting to be on the show. And in addition to just doing what we're doing with it. And right as we're trying to finish up this book, and it happens to be the Bigfoot convention season. So we've got tons of appearances. And in the middle of all that, I got food poisoning, just like you. And that means my seizure meds don't work. And that was, right. So I basically lost a week and a half in a month that I couldn't afford to lose a day.
Right.
And so I'm playing catch up too. So, which is why I wasn't on last week. I was on the mend, but then it hit me again. So it's not good, guys. Epilepsy's not fun. So how about you, Amanda?
I mean,
I don't know.
There's really nothing new aside from like part of me is like, how am I supposed to follow that, right? And John's like, I'm nuts, and I wanted to be like, okay, what makes now any different? And then he explained it, and I was like, okay, now I get it. And yes, I do feel bad for Austin because it really should be in a funnel instead of like a straw with a toothpick blocking 90% of it.
I feel bad for him.
So Austin, just throw shit at him if you have to. I'm kidding, I think. You know what? Just do it for me. That'll work. Just say I told you to do it, or you're doing it on my behalf. That should fly. And if it doesn't, I will hear about it, I'm sure. Right, John?
I told him earlier. I said if you have to make sure that there's no echo, or she'll come through that screen and get you.
I was like, wait, what am I coming through the screen for? And then you said the echo. Yeah, the echo always gets me. It's nuts.
But she forgets.
Aside from that, Amelia released with like 0 fanfare, which is fine by me, but like also whatever. I'm not used to doing launches that don't really have anything. But on the flip side of that, the paperback has taken some time. I screwed up the cover, and then Ingram got really pissy about this little tiny blue line, and I was like, "Y'all are stupid," but also, oh my god, I screwed up the cover. So I fixed the cover, I re-uploaded it, and then I realized I'm looking through the e-proof, and I see that the software I used screwed up the scene breaks.
Oh,
Luckily, there was only like 6 of those, so that was really easy to fix and re-upload. I did all of that at like 7 o'clock Sunday morning after I got Books Go
Oh, yeah.
Direct set up. And my paperbacks are finally fully like available. However, they are not linked on Amazon. So I now have to deal with reaching out to Amazon to be like, y'all need to match the two together, because I don't know what happened that they're not matched together, but it's the same friggin' book. So please link it on the same product page like you guys always do, which usually is an instant thing. It's been 48 hours almost now, and I'm
right.
still waiting. So
Yeah,
I should give them
the
72 because that's their thing, 72 hours.
yeah, 72. I was about to say that was my Erie when
Don't
Erie
get me started on their
Appalachia went
bullshit
up.
of 72 hours, please. We're not going to talk
No,
about
when
that
Erie
because
Appalachia went up
it's the biggest
on
lie I have
Audible,
ever heard in my life.
yeah, when Erie Appalachia went up on Audible, they somehow lost a chapter, and I had
Okay, we're
people
not going
yelling
to.
at me, and it was like I'm like I didn't do it, and then my publisher didn't do it. It's on every other edition, so it's just the Audible edition. It was just basically a blank
That
chapter on the
depends on if
Audible
you use a
edition.
distributor to get to. It depends on if you use a distributor to get to Audible or not. If you use a distributor, then it's all of the same files that get sent everywhere. Because that's
Yeah,
how I actually left Find Away Voices because I don't like the Spotify terminology. And
right.
I've moved over to Authors Republic, which is also higher royalties. So I just need to actually upload
Mm.
books 1 through 3, and then I need to start narrating book 4 here shortly, so I can get that done in what are we in, Q3? Jesus, how are we in
Yep.
Q3 already?
Already, I know, July. It's crazy. It's
All
half
right,
the
but here's the
year
thing, like
already
thinking about
gone.
July and then Q3, like it's literally the same thing, right? We're in the beginning of Q3,
Yeah.
next month is the middle of Q3, but we're in Q3, and I'm just like, I can't talk about Q3 anymore because
It's
I might
that's why
have
all the
an actual
Halloween
breakdown.
it's why all the Halloween stuff's
I
showing up
know.
in the stores now.
I
I'm
know. I'm
very
so
happy
excited.
about that.
I'm
So
still waiting for that CVS down the street to turn into a Spirit Halloween. However, there are other Halloween stores. And also, hey, it's Prime Day. And I didn't know what day was Prime Day before everybody this year because I don't work for Amazon anymore. I can't make
yeah,
fun of
yeah.
people anymore. Like, I know before you do.
What do people
Kind of makes
anymore?
me sad.
You bet your ass I can, and I will.
I mean, of course I
Yeah.
can, but like the whole I know when Prime Day is and you don't, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, someone else had to remind me. I wasn't really
Yeah.
sure. I'm like, oh, that's right today. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I ordered all my
Yeah.
shit 2 days ago, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
It's
No, I'm looking. I'm looking
some of
for
the deals
dryer
are
balls.
great, but most of them are 10% off, 20% off,
There's a
and just
great
wait for
deal
it.
on a
Yeah.
Barbie pink pillowcase cover that I want. It's a satin pillowcase cover. It's Barbie pink. It will not match my sheets at all, not even close. My sheets are like burgundy. However, I am on the hunt for dryer balls. So if anyone has any dryer ball recommendations, feel free to drop those in the chat. Ideally,
Trader
the
Joe's,
Amazon link so I
baby.
can get
Trader
those.
Joe's.
Walmart.
Trader Joe's has those
Amazon.
good ones.
Okay.
I
So,
see it this way. As long as I don't understand, like, as long as they're 3 inch in diameter, or ideally, tell me why I'm going to spend $5 more for less than a ½ inch bigger dryer balls, because Amazon is
Well,
like that aside from Prime shipping.
hey,
So,
to
I
some
got some,
people, a ½ inch is important.
yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Some,
It absolutely is. But
some
in the
people it's
realm of
not.
dryer balls, is it?
Yep.
So guess what?
What?
We have a guest tonight.
Oh, speaking
What?
of our guest,
I heard about
did
that.
we download the image that I sent from when I was in Pennsylvania this past weekend? Did we download that to show tonight at all? Like,
I didn't
that
know
would
we
go
were
perfect.
supposed to.
I said we
Yeah, we
should
didn't get
show
a
it.
chance
I
to
mean,
get it.
if we
Yeah, but
didn't,
we
it's
didn't
not
get
a
a
big
chance.
deal
Oh,
because that would
maybe.
be. I think that'd be perfect with the guest.
Well, maybe he can go get it. But here's the thing. Let's bring this young
Yeah.
man on, Mr. Stacy
Yes.
Brown.
Yeah, Stacey Brown Jr. Oh
What's
my
up?
gosh. Oh, can we? I can't hear him. Oh no.
Nope.
All right, I'll be right
No
back.
hearing. You go fix that, John. We'll get you back, Stacy. Hang on. We'll figure it out on our end. It's all good. All right. But anyway, Stacy, I just saw you like a couple nights ago when we talked about the Conjuring House on my show. So as soon as we can get you talking, we'll
He should be
just
fine.
re-hit that.
Oh,
Can
am
you
I
talk
good
again?
now?
Yeah, you're good.
Now you're good.
Yes.
All
Yeah, we can hear
right.
you now.
It's that whole
There he
straw
is.
funnel thing that we were talking about. This, I tell you what, I feel bad for him. I really do, because it's a lot of crap and a lot, because he's
The
on his
man
own
behind the
next week.
curtain has got a lot of levers to
You
pull.
have no
so.
idea. Unless you do this, you literally have no idea. How you doing, Stacy?
Doing all right, brother. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I love that beard, brother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of been there forever at this point.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You shave that
No,
off, you'd
I got-
freeze to death.
You're right. The last time I did shave it off, when I came home, my kids didn't know who I was.
Oh Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, because they were young. They were looking at me like, "Oh my God, who's this man?" You know?
There's some weirdo out in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
That was,
Now they're
was
teenagers
when
and they
my-
think I'm a weirdo anyway, so they still avoid me.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, brother. I got grandkids
Oh
the
my
same
God.
way. Papa's weird. And they're like, and
Yeah.
it literally took my kids like 2 days before they finally went, oh yeah, he's okay. So I'll go over next to him. It's kind of funny. But anyway, I digress.
Oh my gosh. So Stacey, you've got a new project that just came out and it's making the rounds, and I think Area 52 is even running it. So
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, we just released the project, Bigfoot: The Journey to Belief, and it's going well, man. It was a fun project to make. I'm kind of vested in it. I don't think I'm going to do another Bigfoot style project, you know, because this one's really kind of I guess turned up some stuff that none of us expected.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
I mean that third episode, when that hit, I was like, oh, you guys are on the same trail I was on when I was writing Freaky Florida and learning about the Ocheesee Pond Wild Man. And I went down that same bunny trail. I guarantee you the same freaking government officials, those just guys in the cockroaches that are in the courthouse up there in Tallahassee. And then they, for those that don't know, Ocheesee Pond had basically a historical encounter where the town was being plagued by a Bigfoot, a wild man. And they sent out a posse to kill it or capture it. And they caught it. And they didn't know what to do with it. It was apparently 8 feet tall and hairy. And so they sent it to the governor in Tallahassee and said, here, do something with this. We don't know what to do. And then he gets it and says, what the hell am I supposed to do with it? And he sends it to the state mental asylum, where we have records there of it being taken in. And then we have records of it about to be shaved. And then that's it. There are no further records of it.
Whoa. They
Except
shaved it?
that it died. That
Well, yeah,
apparently it died.
It froze to
sometime
death. Us bearded guys
Exactly.
know this shit.
Right?
I mean,
Well, there's
I'm
if you
going in a completely different direction with the shaving. First, it started with 8 feet tall and hairy, so my brain instantly went gutter. And now we're talking about shaving it, and I'm stuck there. This is probably not the show for that. So,
Well, Stacy, what did you find?
well, like Mark said, the shaving of the thing, it's funny because there was a story in one of John Green's books, I believe it's Apes Among Us, where some nuns took in a Bigfoot type creature, one of these wild men, and they shaved it, and then it died like 2 days later, you know?
Yeah.
But as we were looking through the state archives, we came up on, we finally found like the month and narrowed it down to what day it should be, right? And we're finding that information. We're there, we're flipping through, and then that date rolls around, and there's nothing. Like it's all deleted out of the record. And you're going from like 20 correspondence a day. I'm assuming he wasn't writing all the letters, you know, but he probably had somebody who was, and he's just signing them. But incoming and outgoing. And then on that day, it's just nothing, you know. Okay. So it was strange. And we did do a lot of local research there with some of the older families, and we came up with some stories that I didn't know existed, to be honest. So this one was in, I believe, 1884, right?
Yep.
Well, then in 1901, the same stuff happened again, right? There was a kid actually got taken by the thing. They formed another posse, went out and caught the thing, and they blamed this one on the lichen disease, right? So he grew all this hair and became crazy or whatever. And then like 17 years later, it happened again. Almost the same exact story, right? Oh. So they end up finding out that it was from this one family that lived there that was from like Romania or something like that. And he lived there, and so this was their kids. Now this is unrelated to the wild man.
Right.
But it almost seems like they're kind of trying to blame it on something, and they didn't know what to blame it on back then, right? Yeah. So that's what I kind of took from it. And then the last story we found that in 1929, there was a flood through that area. And they say the river came down as like a 40-foot tidal wave down through that valley. And so a lot of people drowned. There's like 400 and something people it killed, which doesn't seem like a lot today, but there wasn't a lot of people living out there. So 400 was a pretty significant number.
That's a lot.
You're talking like 80%, right?
Yep.
So fast forward 2 years later, at Ocheesee Pond, some hunters find an enormous skeleton in the top of a cypress tree. They end up finding a leg, right? And then they find the rest of the skeleton was up above them. And that's buried in Bluntstown. And so we are trying to chase that down because, you know, if there is an 8-foot skeleton there, we should be able to find it with like some ground penetrating radar. If, you know, maybe they got a thing, but what we've been told so far is that there were so many people buried around that time from the flood that it's basically just mass graves.
Wow. Yeah. The problem with the guy who died at the mental hospital, the first wild man, the problem is they buried him in a pauper's grave, and the pauper's graveyard was basically built over, and that's where the Florida State Hospital is today. So the only way you're ever going to be able to dig that up is if they bulldoze the whole Florida State Hospital, and they're not about to do that. That's a multi-billion-dollar facility.
So if he was buried on that property, when they dug the foundation, they dug him up.
Yeah, they dug him up. But they're also saying that there was none of the paupers' graves were ever moved.
Yeah, because
there's no reports of them.
That has a basement.
Yeah, so they literally just built on top of it.
Right.
So they wouldn't have, if they dug it up, they buried it elsewhere, but it's garbage. You know.
So let's play the video that he has real quick.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about what I'm really curious of why they kind of kept this video subdued or not at all, which doesn't make any sense. I've been running it now for about a week and I haven't got any strikes. So I'm kind of curious if we get one tonight when we play this. So everybody stick around, watch this, and we come back and we'll talk to the creator some more about what he has done and where he's going with this.
If you look at the body of evidence, I understand why you don't believe. I'm telling you there is an 8-foot tall, hairy creature in the woods. It sounds insane. So I could take you to a place right now where we'll get knocks. Maybe we'll find some tracks. And if we find those tracks, it's no more proof to you than anything else. And that's why I just want to know, like, what constitutes as proof to a skeptic?
And we started hearing creaking up the footsteps. Everybody started panicking and freaking out. The news is like, this ain't happening, this ain't happening, this ain't happening. And I'm like, dude, this shit is happening.
I looked at it, but I didn't want it to look me in the eyes. I was so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. I grabbed everything I had and I turned and ran.
Where the light starts to fade to the side of the beam, that's where I saw it.
Where did it come from? And somebody said, hey, maybe we should go get a grown-up.
I was coming on the interstate, and across the hood of my car came this creature.
But I could see that it was breathing hard, like its shoulders were going up and down.
And seeing a bipedal figure that was literally going left to right, back and forth.
You remember how everybody talked about some way, somehow, there was some sort of FWC involvement. So I thought, why not do a public records request?
It's right there in the hunting regulations. You're taking of skunk ape is strictly prohibited.
There were 73,000 emails, but this is where it gets crazy. All communication stops.
At the end of the day, from here on out, this is about protection for threatened species.
Oh my Gerd.
Yeah.
Oh my Gerd. Dude.
Yeah, man, that was a fun project, dude.
Yep.
And so how long did it take you to produce all of this?
Probably about a year. We're just outside of a year releasing it, you know, and we really haven't. We've only released it on our website, because you hear in the trailer he says how many emails that the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission have in their possession,
Yep.
right, that are pertaining to this subject. And we want to get that money. So going through our website, we're able to get a higher percentage of the cut. Like Amazon takes 50 right off the jump.
Yep.
You know, if you go through a distributor, it's 50 plus then whatever the distributor takes. So we're going to go those routes. But it's been really good, man. It's people are, you know, checking it out, and we're on our way to retaining this lawyer and getting these emails.
Wow. That is amazing. It's amazing. And I can't wait. Now, what's it cost to watch it on your website?
It's $1.99 per episode, and it's 4 episodes. So I think next week we're really going to focus on getting the word out about our GoFundMe.
Yep.
Because the thing about the emails is they said they had them, but they had no reports, right?
Yeah.
Which when I,
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy because like I've been on the premise when 2 reports were filed, right? Like I've personally been there for those. So when I asked them, do you have any emails? Do you have any reports? It was a loaded question. I knew you had reports. I didn't know you had emails.
Yep.
You know, and then they come back with, we have 0 reports. And so then we asked them about a specific report. We gave the county, the officer's name. The photo from the report is in like the title sequence of the movie. And it's also in like episode 3. We show it. He's standing there beside a guy in a gorilla costume and he's got a net over him, you know. That was a report that got called in, and they posted it themselves. So, you know, why the lie? And then the best thing that could have happened, like 2 months ago, the Orlando Sentinel runs a story on the skunk ape, you know, and they're talking about Dave Shealy, and they talk about the guy like he talks about like 6 reports. He says we get them all the time, and then he named like 6 reports.
Yep.
It's like, which one is it, guys?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
when we were with David Sidoti, when I was working way back on Erie, Florida, I was with Dave Sidoti in Ocala National Forest, and we bumped into our ranger, and the ranger was like, "Oh yeah, I just filed a report about a sighting over in the old abandoned Curse City area, and which is a ghost town in the middle of Ocala National Forest. It's private property, but people still go out there and see weird stuff. And somebody saw, had an interaction with a skunk ape, and they wrote it up. That guy had a report, and that's when you said no reports. I was like, whoa! I always wondered what happened to that report.
Right.
So now we know. They go in a file, shred.
Yep, and when we asked them about that email, that one report, they cut off communication. They stopped talking to us. They closed our file. And so we showed everything to a lawyer, and he's like, yeah, dude, it's kind of open and shut, man. We'll get these reports, or, they're going to get in trouble for not keeping the reports. Because you have to. Like, no matter how silly the report is, we're not asking you as public servants to use your own discernment on whether you're going to keep record of what was called in.
Right.
One unicorn report becomes 20 unicorn reports. You know what I mean? Or let's just say it was a kangaroo. Like, hey, I seen a kangaroo here. Yep. And now 20 people say they saw it. Are you still throwing them out the window? Are you doing like they did in Killer Clowns? You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, right. He's hanging up on everybody. Mooney's cussing people out. But yeah, it's really... like Joey just wanted to see if they had some documentation of it. Yeah. I feel that the best thing that could have happened for us is that they did exactly what they did, because my whole goal here in this process was to prove to my skeptical friend that Bigfoot's real. And now he's sitting there and he says himself, if you want it to look like a cover up, this is how you act. And
exactly.
To him, Bigfoot doesn't exist, so he doesn't understand why you would cover it up.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
This is
I mean, that's a good point, though. Like, if somebody doesn't believe, why would there be so much effort to cover it up, right? If it didn't exist, if I'm sitting here saying I'm not a believer, I'm not saying that, but if I'm going to sit here and say, okay, I don't believe in this, but also it doesn't make any sense, why would they cover this up, right? Why would they go through that effort? What's that all about?
Right. Well, it goes
so
right back to
some level of truth. Like there's no.
Well, it's going back to the same
I'm not a believer,
thing.
but I'm right. I think the whole thing is absolutely insane. Also, Stacy, I found Bigfoot in Morrisville, Pennsylvania this weekend.
Oh, nice!
To share that photo with you.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see if Austin.
Like, I grew up that way. And they're like, you've never seen this? Oh, yeah. I can send it to him. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Actually, I can post it in the comments. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
in the comments. So.
I mean, okay, so back when I was a kid and we were in Missouri, we were in the Ozarks, and we had a cabin near Piedmont. No, I'm sorry, not Piedmont. Annapolis, Missouri, on the river, Black River. We were in a cabin, and that thing got destroyed on the outside. And I've never seen my uncles that scared. So it was crazy. So, and there's no bears there. So, well, there's bears, but it's not.
Speaking of Missouri, I was shooting a movie in Missouri, and I was staying at Vincent Price's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Right, the old horror, Dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was there. Yeah. And so we were staying there, and me and Survivor Man were sitting out by the lake, and this huge rock just comes out of the forest and lands into the lake there. And I ain't saying it was a Bigfoot, but I looked at him. I was like, I'm too fucking tired to get up and deal with this right now. So I'm just gonna act like that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, that was
okay. So it's not actually letting me post it in the chat for the live.
It's all good.
Because
No,
it's a
I did
live
the
stream, so it won't let me post an
it's a
image.
live stream. So, but yeah, no, when I was there, it's so funny because I was there back with him and I believe his daughter when I was a kid, and was there because hey, it was Vincent Price's house, and he was inviting a few people over for dinner, and he cooked dinner for us there. So,
Oh,
and I just
wow.
remember that being beautiful, and he was the best cook. Oh my God, it was amazing. So, and I got his cookbook, Cooking Price Wise, a number of years later, and I'm like, when I see him, I'm gonna have to get him to sign it, but I never saw him again. So, but man, that was talk about a memory that's from my brain there. Thanks for pulling that out, Stacy.
Yeah, and he's still there.
I believe
still there, bro.
That was his home. That was his home. So they say he haunts his place in L.A. No. That if he's haunting any place, it's there.
So we did.
I have a question.
Hold on. We did find that image that Amanda found Bigfoot.
Oh,
there
that
he
one,
is.
yeah.
There
you
he
go.
is.
That is on Tyburn Road in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And of course, I got all stupid excited about it after I sent it in our Nerd Talk chat. And my friend who was driving was like, "You've never seen that before?" And I'm like, I mean, I may have. I don't know. I haven't lived here in like how long? Over a decade now. And the last time I was down this area, God, it had to have been a lifetime ago. Like I don't know how long it's been there.
All I know, I want to know what Uncle Silas was doing in Pennsylvania.
I guess he wanted to hang out at a graduation party with me. So I do have a question because Charles said in our chat, "Beware the Bigfoot Pon Far." What does that mean? Because people are laughing at me now.
That's funny. Pon Far is the Star Trek term for when Vulcans go into heat. So they only do it once every 7 years. So they get really, really
Now I understand why
randy.
he was telling me to beware. Got it. Got it. Thanks, Charles.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Flock can only mate once every 7 years. So that's.
I guess I am very glad that my boyfriend does not resemble a Bigfoot.
Yeah, big
Or a
Bigfoot
Vulcan.
Pon Far would, or a Vulcan. Yeah, that'd be better.
So Stacy, are you going to be? Stacy, are you going to be up in Gatlinburg next weekend?
No, I am not. My kid's birthday is that same weekend every year. You know what I mean? So like, I did it one year, and it's like I really wanted to be home, so I don't really care to go to these conferences. Like, to be honest.
Okay. And why not? But I need to know why.
Okay, so the Bigfoot community is what it is, right?
Yep.
90% of those people or more are LARPing.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're selling products, and this is coming from somebody who's a content creator, right? I'm trying to go with more of my content now too, because when I was doing Outcast Paranormal, it was fun. It was kind of it was entertainment, right? We were still doing it, you know, but we were just, more looking for an adrenaline rush, right? But we were making a film. This other process was like, it feels more to what I was doing before I started all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I got lost in the path and, started going over here. Oh, we're gonna make a show that's better than what they got on TV and stuff. And you shouldn't do that. Like, in my opinion, I'm a researcher, right? I love making films. So I'm trying to get into like away from documentaries. I'll still do this Bigfoot Journey to Belief, but I want to do like if I'm going to do something that's like, glitzy and glamoury, then like I want to make some A24 type films. I want to make something like The Lighthouse. That's my stuff. That's what I really love doing. But the Bigfoot thing I really love too. And so when you go to the conferences, you're talking to people all day, which no problem. I don't mind talking to anybody, right? Like, I love it. But damn it, after 8 hours, bro, your eyes start to hurt, and you can't give the attention to the person that you should give to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of these people got a genuine story that hey, they've traveled from however many miles away and they're coming to talk to you, and it's real easy to seem like a prick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then the other people that are here that are claiming to do whatever they're doing, they're not doing. Yeah. I know them.
Right.
I know. We know the ones we've both been on the TV shows, right? We've both done them. We were just talking about this on Eerie Travels on Sunday on our live. We were talking about the Hollywood versus reality, because when you're doing the shows, that's people don't realize you're out in those woods for days, and then you'll get this much footage that they use on the show out of that.
Right.
And then that's if they do that. Whereas that's for paranormal, that's Bigfoot, you name it. But also they'll edit the hell out of what you send them. And we've had like my famous thing on Ancient Aliens is where I talked about a thing in Lake Wales, the Gravity Hill, Spook Hill. And I talked about it and I said, there's these legendary places all over the world called, Gravity Hills, but they're usually tourist attractions and they're optical illusions you can usually figure out with a level, right? And but that got cut down to Ancient Aliens, 30 seconds. There are these strange and unusual places all over the world called Gravity Hills.
Yep.
Right.
Well, so so when
I used to go to one growing up.
Oh, so when we go, the first thing that I tell everybody is that we go back to a 4-shot, please. I like to, I'm honest with them. I'm like, no, look, we have a paranormal side and we have a geek side. We have a show called Perry Geeks. And my goal is to, we never want to make fun of each other, rip each other, but I'm an engineer by trade, and I'm a sound engineer and I'm an optic engineer. And my thing is I want to believe, I really do. I want to believe in it all. But I have a tendency to tear things apart. And we were at the one in Ocala and people were giving me stuff to rip or to go and analyze. And I had to be the very unfortunate guy to call them and say, hey, by the way, this is what this is. This is not what you think it is. And I'm sorry, but I'm just telling you what it is because I have the systems that, kind of do that. But I've had my own experiences, which absolutely 100% I know all this is real. So I've got, I grew up in Piedmont as a kid, Piedmont, Missouri. And that's one of the biggest hotspots in the United States. And let me tell you something, the stuff that we seen back then doesn't even compare to some of the stuff that we're seeing now. Right. So anyway, I still go and matter of fact, we're going to be up in Gatlinburg next weekend. And my goal is to sit down and I want people to give me their experiences because I'm putting together a little thing for the stuff for the station that I want to get the experience. What happened to you? Why do you think? No, and I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, you're a moron or you're crazy or you're making this shit up. But you can literally look at the people and go, but I'm going to do the interview and I'm not going to be the prick that we all meet. You know what I'm saying? And I like the research side of it. So unfortunately, I have a ton of bills to pay and I have a whole staff and we had students. If I could go spend 3 or 4 weeks out in the woods, Stacy, I'd be right there with you, baby. We'd be going and having some serious fun.
Right. And I'm the same way. I got a job. I can't get out in the woods all the damn time, but it just seems like the Bigfoot community is turned into a rat race for who can get on TV.
Right.
Yep.
And here's my proof of that. Okay. Me and my father's footage is probably the best evidence that's been caught since the Patterson Gimlin film, and that should not be. No. Bro, I'm a high school dropout, dog. Like, I mean, I got it. Yep. Me and my dad got it. Like, what?
Yep.
Like, why ain't none of y'all else got it yet? Cause y'all are educated and shit.
Yours, Dave Shealy's down in the Everglades. I'd say your 3 pieces of evidence are the best evidence out there. And why don't they get the credit like Patterson Gimlin does? Yours and Dave Shealy's because they're Florida. And
Right.
they're skunk apes. That's not Bigfoot. And it's like, no, but these are even better. They're more modern. They've got actual witness backup. They've got evidence backup. And the problem is, they're not TV. They're not,
Nah.
and they don't fit the narrative that it's all the Pacific Northwest. They don't fit the narrative of it's a tribe of apes that are out in the woods, and that's where it all falls apart for them. And so that's why they don't give it credit. And it's ridiculous. And that's why these scientists and investigators, why are you not out in the places where we've seen them? They're out in the Pacific Northwest because it's Hollywood North. That's where they can go.
Right. And I feel there should be more evidence out there captured, if that many people were doing it and out there all the time. And then there's the whole part where people want to like pull their chips in. It's like, oh, my precious. And they keep their findings from everybody, whether you don't want to be ripped or something. If you don't want to be ripped, you need to get out of this field, bro, because you're stepping into it doing something that's insane to begin with.
Right.
Like normal people, and that was the cool part about this project. Joey is a Reddit troll. Okay? If I can prove to this Reddit troll that Bigfoot is real, I can prove it to everybody, brother.
Anybody. Yeah.
And so that's my quest.
And that's the beauty of this show. Everybody, I don't want to spoil it. Watch this. It's worth your time. If you love any of these shows, I mean, I don't care if you're a ghost show guy or a UFO hunting guy or a Bigfoot hunting guy, this is the show to watch. This is the one that'll show you how the research goes and the steps you need to take. It has some great stories from eyewitnesses. It has your reenactments are hysterical. Some of them are spot on. I love it. And then it's showing what goes into an investigation. That 4th episode, showing all the steps that you guys do to try to find things and all the things you can do. It's an amazing watch and just definitely worth your time, gang. Please, BigfootJourneyToBelief.com.
The cool part was like when I was doing the Bigfoot decoy experiment. So I'm out in the woods dressed up in our suit and I'm acting like a Bigfoot. And the lights appear.
Uh-oh.
And we get a knock. And when we got the knock, at that point I thought the lights was just me not being able to see anything because I had to keep touching my face to make sure my eyes were open. It was so dark, right? And they're sitting over in the bushes with thermals. So there's no lights, and I'm just walking around, feeling around and stuff, and banging on trees. When I heard that knock, I was like, oh, man, I done messed up. My buddies ain't going to do nothing but sit here and watch. So,
when Bigfoot Pond Far happens, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but so, like, we heard the knock, and I got scared. I was like, I'm just going to own it. I was like, oh, I got to get out of this shit. So I go over to Joey, and he's like, hey, are you seeing those lights? And I was like, oh, thank God. He's seeing them too. And so when you have witnesses mention that, because I've mentioned it, some of the more outlandish things about Bigfoot, and he's seeing them too, and then it's like, hey, bro, you got to immerse yourself in this. And that's, I think, where Expedition Bigfoot and all these shows mess up is because they're going out there with a plan.
Yep.
If we go to an active spot, we don't have to plan anything. We don't have to schedule out how this is all going to go. We can actually capture some good footage and build a storyline out of that. What actually happened? No exaggerating. None of that. And Richard filmed something. I don't even know what it was. He was filming it and it didn't really move. And so he didn't think nothing of it. But like 2 weeks later, when I'm going through the footage, I'm like, what is this? It's exactly what it looks like. And then he's like, yeah, but it was just sitting still. I was like, dude, you don't remember Adam's story? We had a guy we interviewed earlier who was like, it was still as the pine trees.
Yep.
And I was like, bro, how'd you not tie that together? I wish you would have said something. So we got to go back and do a recreation.
Yeah, they don't move. Some of them don't move. Some of them, they will sit still. And I've got so many emails from people emailing Erie, Florida and Erie Travels with their sighting reports and all that, because they're afraid of reporting them to BFRO for reasons. A lot of places, people are afraid to report things to certain places, but a lot of them don't want to be made fun of because something weird happened. It wasn't just a normal Bigfoot sighting. It wasn't a normal, this, and that's what we're learning is these things interconnect. There's more to all this than we think. And I think, like you said, the guys on the shows, if they said that, they would never work on another television show again.
Right.
Because they'd be like, oh, nope, that guy's crazy. We can't use him anymore. That happens to some of us.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
that's,
Mark. Come on now.
That's the beauty of that's the beauty of being independent, because you get to make the rules on that, and we're able to keep it authentic, and I think it still kind of drags you into it. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks you in because you're getting a document search, looking for evidence. We've got boots on the ground, got the public records request, and then we have also the eyewitness testimony. You know what I mean? Which is also a very underappreciated part of the evidence.
Absolutely.
Hey, it convicts felons. It convicts criminals. We've got more evidence that way than I think some people who are on death row have against them.
Exactly.
And
right.
But that doesn't count because it's not DNA. It's not a body. It's not whatever. It's who knows with these things, gang. Who knows?
Well, we've
preternatural stuff we don't understand yet.
I was hoping to. I mean, I was telling Austin when we got a guest coming on. I don't know how long he's going to get to stay on, but this has been awesome. He's been on here almost the whole show. We get another show next week, and we don't even have to worry about getting content for it because we got plenty of content.
We got content. Right. It's old news, but it's all good.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
And I was, and my next thing to throw at Austin, poor kid. Is okay. We have to create some content to show on a screen, so that way we have stuff that just constantly rolls while we're in there. I don't have to. I'm just going to play the show. Because if everybody doesn't know who he is when they walk by then I really don't want to deal with them anyway. So, just saying. And this is, this is funny. This is my first time to really. I mean, I've said hi in passing at some of the other stuff, but I've never been able to sit down with the man and talk to him. And I feel really honored that you came on the show tonight and actually talked to us and told us the real deal of what's going on. And that's just what you don't hear most of the time. Most of the time it's all hype and it's all flip and it's all this and it's like, oh. And there's a man that's sitting there going, nope, I've done the research. I've been out there doing it, and this is what I've been doing. And you've worked on it for a year, for God's sake, a year. That's a lot of time. And people don't understand the amount of work that we put into doing what we do. They really don't. But there's a man sitting at bottom or left corner that absolutely 100% knows what he's doing. And I feel honored. I thank you for coming on, Stacey. I really do, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I'm just some dude from Wakulla County, Florida. I'm still shocked people want to talk to me, so I appreciate it.
No, it's all good.
Yep.
So we got 7 minutes left. Do we want to try to hit something?
I would love to just bring up because we are talking like hollers and kind of a creepy vibe and stuff like that, and stuff that's kind of out of Appalachia. The new Hellboy movie is going to be dripping with this. It's yet another reboot of Hellboy, but it's from my favorite ever series of Hellboy called The Crooked Man.
Oh, I think we actually have a trailer, don't we?
A24 style. If we can show that trailer real quick, I want to see Stacey's reaction to this.
All right, go ahead. Austin, let's go and try to find that one.
Something in these hills. Something haunted. Evil. It smells like death.
How do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
I heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him the Crooked Man.
We've got company.
All your friends, they all gonna die.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, but who's playing Hellboy?
Yeah, who is that?
He's a new actor for it because David Harbour couldn't do it anymore
But
after the 2019.
Who is he is the question.
He's in a. I was looking. He's been in a bunch of TV shows. This is his first big movie. So,
Well, is this like a prequel?
This is
Yeah,
like a
that
prequel.
doesn't-
Yeah, this would have taken place in like the 50s of Appalachia.
I have never ever heard of this guy.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, Jack Casey. Yeah, he's. I was just about to say I don't even remember what shows
He was
he's
in
been
The
on,
Strain.
so.
I did watch The Strain until it
Yeah.
sucked because Del Toro he's awful with that. Like it's good for the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then he's like, shit the bed every single time.
Yeah.
What else has this
Oh,
guy
dude.
been in?
Yeah, but no, I think that was
I'm going
that was
through the
about
list.
it.
I'm
But
looking to see if there's anything I've actually seen.
yeah.
Once
Anyway,
Upon a Deadpool,
anyway, what
Black
it's
Dog.
got that feel of now the comic itself was incredible when that came out, and this is the first Hellboy movie. The script was actually written by Mike Mignola, who created Hellboy, who wrote the comic, who did all that. So this is the
Nice.
first. He's been involved in all the other ones, and they did it super low budget, real practical effects, all that. So yeah, it doesn't look as good as Del Toro's, Hellboy 2 and all that, but I think it gave me the heebie-jeebies. Which, if you've read the Hellboy comics, they should give you a bit of a chill. It's not a superhero. He's a thing that fights monsters. It's just that's what he is. And
So is this going to be?
I'm all in.
Is this going to theater first, or is it coming straight to streaming?
Yeah. No, it's going to theaters. Hopefully a nice run. So we'll see. But it's A24 style. That's what they were influenced by. And I'm excited. I don't know. It's a lot of people are knocking it because he doesn't have the yellow eyes. He doesn't have the it's not Ron Perlman. I'm like, Ron Perlman's
Okay,
older
I
than
want to know
dirt.
what the Crooked
Yeah.
Man actually looks like because
Yeah.
this guy looks like he could be very creepy as a creepy character.
And
So
they're
I
keeping
now
that
need to know what the
secret.
Crooked Man
Well,
looks like.
they're keeping that secret,
Okay.
so I'm waiting to see.
But
I'm waiting to
is
see.
it in a
They-
comic book?
Yeah, it's in a comic. If you look up Hellboy Crooked Man, you'll see the comic. And the witches are a very important part of the story. Appalachian witchcraft is a very important part of that story. So I'm down with this. I'm calling it now. It may suck, but I'm going to say
Oh
it
my
gets my money.
goodness.
She just
Okay,
found it.
so
What? Did you
hold
found the
on.
picture?
Where's the picture? Come on.
Did you find it?
So if this is what I think it is, it's in the fan feed at the bottom of the Hellboy wiki, the Hellboy fandom.com wiki. And if it's the dude with the top hat and the one messed up eye,
Yes. Yes, that's him.
the guy is that him? Okay, so the guy that
That's
they
him.
picked to play him is on point with that
Point,
character.
yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm
very
gonna drop
excited
this link into our
into the chat. Yep, good.
Oh,
into
so
the
it's fun.
chat. Yeah.
So
This is nuts.
what you guys don't see and don't know is about 22 minutes ago, we got a hit for community standards.
What?
What? What are we getting it for?
I get all that crap on the side. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me.
Well, I'm logged in as my page, so I don't get that stuff anyway.
No, I
but
do.
But what did I mean? I won't get it unless I log in as Nerd Talk, and you do that.
Was it the trailer?
The page.
I
So.
don't know. It will let me know.
Oh,
that.
they're pulling that. We're not going to tell you what happened.
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't
They'll
gone
let
that.
us know when it's
I can't
over.
go that deeper because my buddy Mike Miracle, who's a really good, he's freaking one of the best DJ. He's not a DJ, but he's a radio engineer. Dude, it's phenomenal.
Okay.
He said, John's an alien, and I have proof. I'm like, oh Lord, what's coming out now?
It might have been the me saying he's also that prick.
Well, that too. No, I don't know about that.
Sadly, we're about out of time, gang.
We are about out of time. This has been great. Stacy Brown, thank you for coming on our show. We do appreciate it, buddy.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, always an honor. From finding Bigfoot to now Journey to Belief, we are all in. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for all you do. I will be in touch, sir. We've got other things to talk about. So
yeah,
I'm
man,
excited.
Can't wait.
All right,
thank y'all.
Thanks for watching tonight. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. We'll actually hit our topics, but we had a great show tonight with Mr. Stacy Brown, and that is awesome. And see everybody next week. Have a nerdy week.